You already know what time it is, man. It's that boy DELI back out here in another video. Y'all can see Day. Listen, bro, we are doing my top 10 music artists of 2024 video, bro. Listen, I know it seemed like I haven't been doing my 2024 wrap-up videos, but it's only a few days left within the year, so we are trying to get these videos done as fast as possible. It should be 2 2024 wrap-up videos dropping today. As we know, 2024 has been a crazy year within the music industry. We've had a lot of people drop this year, and I'm about to give y'all my top 10 favorite artists of this year. But before we get into the video, y'all can let me know y'all top 10 favorite artists this year. It don't matter if it's underground, it don't matter if it's mainstream, it could be any genre. Let me know y'all favorite artists from this year. But let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new, you feel me? Let's hop straight into it, bro. All right, man, at number 10 we have Denzel Curry, bro. Denzel Curry kind of low on the list this year, but listen, Denzel Curry, I feel this year for him, he went back to his roots. The music that he dropped this year gave kind of like a Raider Clan, ULT type of feel, like the back in the SoundCloud era. That's the vibe that he really gave this year. I really enjoyed the work that he put out this year with King of the Mischievous South Volume 2 being the album that he released this year. It was a whole group orientated like type of project, and it really gave like an old school vibe to it and shit. But Denzel Curry has been doing this thing for years, and I feel like he doesn't really get the credit that he deserves. But he's one of my favorite artists of all time, bro. Like, if you want to talk about lyricism, punchlines, flows, all that shit, he gives you a good mixture of everything, bro. But with like I wouldn't even say with a classic feel, but this year he definitely gave like a classic feel with his music. Denzel Curry managed to switch it up every year. He sounds different every year. He's always doing a different type of voice or giving off a different theme within his project. King of the Mischievous South dropped this year, but before this, his album that he previously released in 2022 was Melt My Eyes, See Your Future. You can't compare the two. You can't really compare any of Denzel Curry's projects together because they all sound different, bro. I feel Denzel Curry this year just made it a thing to just get people together and make some fire-ass music. And it seemed like he was in the media a lot more this year than I ever seen him in the media before, since 2016 for real, doing freestyles for LA Leakers, also doing freestyles for Fire in the Booth and things of that nature, bro. So that's why I got Denzel Curry number 10. Now at number 9 I have Yeat, bruh. Yeat has been one of my favorite artists for the past, I think, 2 years. I'm not really sure where I ranked him last year or even if I had him on my list, but this year he released 2 projects. I forgot that 2093 even released this year, but with that project right there, bro, that really showed me a different side of Yeat. I felt like he needed to go through development a little bit with his music, and he ended up changing it up overall with a whole brand new sound, giving it like a futuristic type of vibe, and he really delivered on that project. It's a few people that probably didn't enjoy it as much because it's not some shit that they're used to, or they just don't think that Yeat should change it up. But one thing that people need to understand is, like, with your favorite artist, if you want them to be at the top of their game for years, they have to change it up. They can't just stick to the same old tune that they've been using for years. I know with Yeat, his sound is so unique to the point where it can't really be recreated. We've seen people try to do his sound before, but it's always one of those things where it's like, this nigga trying to sound like Yeat. You see what I'm saying? He released 2 projects this year. This man Yeat rarely missed in terms of projects for me, but definitely during the second album it was kind of some highs and lows within that album. Overall this year I feel like Yeat really showed that he can do more than just give us the same old shit that he's been doing for years. So that's why I put Yeat at number 9. Now number 8 I have Tana, bruh. Tana, I've said this shit before, I'm really proud of Tana and the development that he has had over the past few years, you know, from listening to him when he was, I think, 14 to hearing his music now. His music has matured, bruh. That's one thing I can say. His sound has matured so much, and if we look back on the hyper rap scene from years ago when Antisocial 1 and Antisocial 2 came out, you had that whole scene of the underground with Shay, Tana, Slump 6. It was huge. It was huge, but it's like over time I feel that sound would have got old. You see what I'm saying? Like, listening back to Tana's old music, which I did that shit on stream, I'm like, bro, you can't really compare his shit from years ago until now. Like, you can obviously see he made that change, he made that extra development that was needed to brand himself as an artist that really want to make it in the game and shit. You see what I'm saying? He's still underground now, but with him being so young, I think he's like at least like 18, 19, I think. Like, with him being so young, he has such a promising future, and he has potential to become mainstream simply because the people that he have around him. With Lil Tecca taking Tana under his wing and really, I'll say, showing him the ropes of things, I feel like I could say, in my opinion, I feel that Lil Tecca had a major influence on the Tana that we got today. You see what I'm saying? Like, earlier in his career, it was more of an ego thing. I said that shit during I forgot what album it was, but it was the one that dropped before the one that just came out with the pink cover art or some shit. I can't really remember, but I was saying how people didn't fuck with Tana because like he kind of had like such a like an ego to him, but it seemed like that has died down and he's really more connected and focused on his artistry than focusing on what's going on in the media, which is the main thing that I feel like he needs to do. He had a great showing this year, and I just hope he keep going, bro. Now, number 7, I have Rich Amiri, another young, promising artist, bro. Rich Amiri is probably about my age right now. I think he's 20. I think he's 20. He was on XXL this year. Y'all know the whole thing happened where he didn't end up doing the cypher, but honestly, I understand why he didn't do the cypher. I know I was getting on his ass for it, but as I saw the XXL shit play out this year, I was like, okay, I understand why he didn't do a cypher. None of those beats really gave Rich Amiri anyways, you see what I'm saying? But I've been a huge fan of Rich Amiri. Like I said with Tana, Rich Amiri is one of those artists that you can look back on, and if you was to take a look at his older projects compared to the project that he recently just dropped a few weeks ago, you see a big change within his music. Now, I love the swaggy sound, the glow sound. That's what I really been fucking with for the past year. Like, the glow sound is really like top 3 right now. Like, glow music, you can't really go wrong. And I like artists that just mix that swag in with their music and shit. Rich Amiri has a unique voice. You really can't compare him to nobody. I see some people calling him like the young Future and shit. I see it, but you could probably say that he's inspired by Future. Overall, he's not really like taking on a Future feel, like, okay, this nigga's trying to be Future. Like, with artists that I see coming up in the game, they always try to sound like somebody else, but over time they gradually end up finding their own sound. I feel like Rich Amiri has always had his own sound, but he's maturing to the point where he's becoming more of himself within the industry, and his music doesn't really sound like anybody else. He's definitely had one of the best albums this year, even though he dropped it kind of late. Bro, from the cover art to the songs that's on the project to the production, all year, last year and this year, these past 2 years for Rich Amiri has been some of his best in his career, and he's just been doing his thing, bro. Shout out to Rich Amiri. I hope nothing but more success for him in the future, bro. Now, at number 6, I have Future. Now, there has only been a few consistent mainstream artists this year, and somebody managed to make a good point. Like, I forgot that Future dropped 3 projects this year, with We Don't Trust You dropping in March and We Still Don't Trust You dropping in April, then spinning back months later and dropping Mixtape Pluto. Like, real shit, other than Future, I can't name another artist that has dropped 3 or more projects this year. And with Future being in the game for so long, he didn't even have to do that shit for real. But then again, he's just showing why he's one of the top artists in the mainstream industry. Like, in terms of mainstream artists, if you add up how many sales that this man has had from all 3 of those projects, I don't have the numbers, but let me look it up real quick. I'm about to add all this shit up. All right, so I just looked it up. We Still Don't Trust You sold 251K. Then We Still Don't Trust You was dropped in April, sold 127.5. So we can say, usually if it say 127, they just rounded up to 130. So he sold 130 on the second album. Then for Mixtape Pluto, he sold 129. So if you add up all that shit, right? He literally sold 500,000 copies this year. Do y'all understand how crazy that actually is? Like, it's hard for artists to even sell that much on one project. But this man managed to make 3 projects this year, and all of them went over 100K. You see what I'm saying? One of them went over 250, and the rest of them went over 100K. You can't fucking lose, bro. This man is like 40 years old and he's selling over 100K. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's levels to the industry, and Future is one of those top tier artist in the industry. You see what I'm saying? Like, if he could put together 3 projects and sell 100K each time, this nigga is just like that, bro. Now, at number 5, I have Rema. A lot of people may not even know who Rema is, but if you listen to Afrobeat, if you listen to Nigerian artists, you obviously know who Rema is, bro. Now, for everybody that has been watching the channel all year, y'all understand that I have been evolving my taste in music, and Afrobeat is one of those genres that I feel caught myself listening to a lot this year. Now, I've only been listening to Rema for 2 years now, but I feel this year he really set himself apart from everybody else. Now, even though I've been listening to him for 2 years, I enjoyed, like, in my personal time, like taking a look back and looking at the evolution of his music. But this year in particular, he pretty much just took on a whole new sound. Now, people may say it's inspired by Playboi Carti, which I feel, but when you compare his music from last year to this year in particular, within the genre of Afrobeat, he really took on a darker approach with his beats and his sound. Now, I haven't seen anybody do that before, like a more darker Afrobeat approach, but ever since Rema has done that, I ain't gonna lie, I've been listening to him a lot more. Now, at number 4, I got Lil Yachty. Now, in my opinion, Yachty has been the most consistent artist this year. Now, compared to Future, he has only dropped 2 projects this year with Bad Cameo and also Concrete Boys Volume 1. But what puts Yachty over Future for me is how much love he shows to underground artists, which he has featured on a lot of projects this year. Like, real shit, I can't name a project that this nigga wasn't on. But yeah, for some people, I understand that they may not like his sound or the style of music that he has released. But honestly, in my opinion, I feel he has put together some of the best work he has ever made in his career in 2024. Not only from an artist perspective, y'all. This man has produced songs this year for other artists as well. With most recently, he produced a song on SZA's project. I'm not sure what the song was. I know he posted it on his story when she dropped the album and shit, but he's been producing as well, bro. So if you take in account like him producing, him also making music and featuring on a lot of artist projects, he's been on Homicide Gang. He's done a song with Bia, Flo Milli, Gene Dawson. Like, I wouldn't say it's easy to name artists that he has worked with this year, but he's been on a lot of projects, bruh. Like, y'all can't tell me that he hasn't. Now, at number 3, I got Destroy Lonely. Listen, I've been a huge fan and supporter with him being my favorite artist in Opium. I feel like with Opium, not all members you'll fuck with. Like, if you fuck with the mosh pit, rage vibe, you're gonna fuck with majority of Opium, but there may be a few fans of Opium that like the more vibey songs and shit. And I feel Destroy Lonely gives a good blend of rage shit and also vibe shit, while also as of recently like mixing in a little bit of rave music as well, because he did that during his Love Lasts Forever tour. But listen, some people may not want to admit it, but Destroy Lonely had a good year overall this year, with his most recent project Love Lasts Forever selling close to 40,000 units. Like, as y'all know, I'm not really a big analytics guy when it comes to sales and shit, because that really doesn't show the actual value of a project, because it's some shit that probably sold low as hell this year, but for y'all it may be the best project that y'all heard all year. You see what I'm saying? So sales really don't do that. But when you actually think about, people may say fuck Lone or this artist is better than Lone, but he's selling more than y'all favorite artists. Like, deadass, when you think of how many sales other artists had compared to Destroy Lonely, Destroy Lonely pretty much sold above average, bro. I feel like the average, I did a little calculation. I took Lotto's album and seen how much he sold. My median right now is at least 24. Like, if you sold above 24, you had a good year. You see what I'm saying? And with Destroy Lonely selling, I think it was 37.5, with him selling close to 40K units, bro, that's pretty much a above average year compared to any other artist. Now, I don't want nobody coming in here saying, oh, he ain't sell more than Kendrick Lamar, he sell more than Future. Listen, he's not as big as them. You see what I'm saying? But if you compare him to other artists that y'all would consider mainstream, he sold more than them. I've been listening to Love Lasts Forever since it came out. As y'all know with me, I explained this shit last year. When it comes to playing shit, I play this shit on repeat in the car, chat. Now, at number 2, I got Don Toliver, bruh. Now, Don Toliver, he has showed a lot of promise throughout his whole career so far. But this year really showed me a different side of Don that I never really seen before. I say that because first, I knew Don Toliver for his voice. Like, the nigga has a beautiful ass voice. He can sing the little voice quiver shit that he be doing when he be singing. It's always been fire as hell. But this year, bro, he showed me that he can rap for real, bro. Like, if you want to talk about one highlight I can say came from Don Toliver this year, I'll say his flows, bruh. Like, his flows have been insane, and he's really coming together as a complete artist. Like, through all the features that he has had throughout this whole year, with the singles he dropped leading up into the project, Hearthstone Psycho, he's been dropping nothing but consistent heat, bruh. Now, at number 1, this shouldn't even be a surprise to anybody. I got Kenny fucking Mason, bruh. Kenny Mason is my number 1. Listen, for some people, y'all may not even know who Kenny Mason is. At the end of the day, this is my top 10 favorite artists of 2024. Not your favorite top 10 artists of 2024. Not Brian's favorite top 10 artists of 2024. Not Toad's favorite artists of 2024. This is my favorite artist of 2024, chat. So all of this shit is coming from me. For y'all, it may be different because y'all may say, who the fuck is Kenny Mason? Listen, I've been reacting to this nigga for 4 years. This nigga fan base is crazy as hell. It has grown to a crazy amount within these past 4 years. I've been doing YouTube consistently for 4 years. I've been listening to Kenny Mason for 4 years. Kenny Mason has brought me back to YouTube. If it wasn't for Kenny Mason, I wouldn't be doing this shit for real, chat. Now, for everybody that know who Kenny Mason is, let's get down to the facts. Even though it seemed like we haven't got a lot of music from Kenny Mason this year, he has released 2 projects up to this point in December, bruh. With 9 being released March 14th of this year and Angelize being released in November. He has consistently shown improvement in every drop. Like, deadass, y'all, in every project, this man manages to expand the variety of flows and sounds that he uses. It's kind of crazy, but like, one thing I've always noticed with this man Kenny Mason and his projects, one project may not sound like the other project. It's never been a certain point where it's like, okay, this sounds like that. Yeah, maybe a few songs that give like that OG feel to it, that OG pup feel to it, but in terms of any of the songs sounding the same to previous years, it never sounds the same. Kenny Mason always managed to take that extra step within his career. Now, real shit, bro, he's one of my favorite artists of all time. Like, even though he's not that big and y'all people may not understand like who the fuck Kenny Mason is, how the fuck is he one of your favorite artists of all time, y'all may not understand that shit because y'all don't know who Kenny Mason is. Y'all wasn't here in the beginning 4 years ago when I started reacting to him, and all of a sudden we're here. You see what I'm saying? But I say he's one of my favorite because I love how serious he takes the craft of music. Plus, I just listened to him a lot throughout this whole year, bro. If you put reaction videos aside, I'm listening to Kenny Mason at least 85% of the time I'm not making a video. But if y'all don't know who Kenny Mason is and y'all want to check out his reactions or his music, I have a playlist up on the channel dedicated to Kenny Mason. Every single Kenny Mason reaction, every single Kenny Mason vlog is within that playlist, so y'all can see the timeline from 4 years ago until now with me reacting to Kenny Mason. But other than that, y'all can let me know y'all top 10 favorite artists of 2024. Let me know what music y'all enjoyed hearing throughout this whole year. I know it's been a crazy year. I know a lot of music has dropped, and once we get to the underground and mainstream albums of the year list, I know I'm gonna leave out some shit, but don't be mad at me because some of the shit I didn't go back and listen to. It's just facts, bruh. But other than that, y'all can let me know what y'all thought about my list. Y'all can put y'all list, y'all top 10 favorite artists of 2024 list down below in the comments. But other than that, man, hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and for more videos coming, some more content coming soon. You already know what time it is, man. Make sure you follow the kick, follow Twitch, also join the Discord down below in the description. But hey, man, it's me, your boy, that boy DELI. Oh, gone, man.